Naomi, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Okay, you're a sugar baby. We didn't really get to that. How many sugar daddies have you had?
I don't remember, but right now I have like 3.
Currently, you have 3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many?
Yeah.
You don't know how many total? Like at 10 plus, 20 plus, 30 plus?
Probably like 10 plus.
10 plus. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that much.
And so you have 3 currently. Do you hook up with any of them?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All 3 of them?
Yes.
I'm just curious because I know.
Excuse me?
Sugar daddies are like stereotyped to be old. Are they all old?
I feel like I would be like putting them in like a specific profile. Like I don't know if they want to even.
Just like 50 or older. Like just yes or no. You don't have to specify their age.
I just don't want to get into like what they look like or anything like that because it's like discretion.
Is it like legalities? Like you sign a contract?
No.
So, okay,
Just
you've got
respect.
the 3 sugar daddies. You're hooking up with all of them. How does it work? Do they give you an allowance?
Something like that.
So, like, do they also pay for your bills?
Something like that.
Well, can you be a bit more precise?
I don't really have a lot of bills, but I go shopping a lot.
Do they pay for your rent?
Nothing is like directly paid for, so it'd be like.
So they just give you money?
As a gift, yes.
As a gift, yeah. How much, I'm curious, so like the guy who's spending the most on you, how much does he send you per month?
That's personal, for sure.
Oh, give us the details. This is good content.
No, there's other stuff to talk
Okay,
about.
well then perhaps a different question. Out of all 3 of these sugar daddies, can you tell us the age of the oldest one? Roughly.
No.
Within the decade. 50s, 60s.
No.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
That would not be revealed. I mean, it wouldn't really be.
It
Yeah, that wouldn't
It
reveal
might.
anything.
How would it reveal?
Because then it's like if I'm with a certain age person
Okay,
out
fair
in
enough.
public, they're just going to
Is
assume.
any of these people 20 plus years older than you?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Okay. So then,
Drop that.
I would not be mistaken in saying, and forgive me if this is incorrect or I'm characterizing this incorrectly, but you're a prostitute, is that correct?
No.
You're sleeping with 3 men simultaneously, many of them much older than you, for the purposes of them giving you money. Can you explain to me how that's not prostitution?
Damn. Can I explain to it?
Yeah, can you explain to me how that's not prostitution?
Because it's not like a for sure thing. Like, it's not the direct. If it's directly, I'm giving you
It's
this.
pretty direct. You're
for
sleeping
that.
with all these men. In exchange,
All
they're
of
giving you
these.
lots of money. I don't understand. Can you make the delineation? Can you draw me the delineation between a prostitute does this, which is she has sex with men for money. You do this, which is you're having sex with men for money. What's the delineation point?
I just don't think that like we have to label it as such.
Yeah, but why?
Why? Because it's not direct. It's not like, oh, I'm giving you this for this. That would be direct.
If any of these men stopped giving you this money, would you stop sleeping with them?
I'm into the provider type.
Yeah, but yeah, so then the answer is no.
I think if it was like, I don't think it would be no necessarily.
So if any of these men tomorrow stopped giving you any money at all and said, I'm not giving you any money anymore, but I would still like to continue sleeping with you, you would say yes.
It depends. It's something that we would have to have a conversation about for sure.
Okay, so you had the conversation. What would the conditionals be in which you would continue to sleep with them if they gave you no more money?
I feel like that's personal, but like, yeah, it's like a little too personal for me to share.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that you wouldn't, and that you're basically lying to me on purpose, because you know that the entailment of the answer, if you said, no, I would not continue to sleep with them if they stopped giving me money, is that you then know that you would be a prostitute. So I'm going to ask you to just be honest. Isn't it really true that if any of these men, any of them, stopped giving you any of these goods or money, that you would stop sleeping with them? Isn't that the case?
That's not the case, actually.
Okay. Let's say then, if any of them, is there at least some of them that if they stopped giving you money, you would stop sleeping with them? Is there at least one of them?
Damn. I feel like I'm put on the spot.
Is there at least one?
I think you just want me to admit to your definition.
No, I
that
don't.
I'm
I
a
just want you to answer my
prostitute in your
question.
definition.
I just want you to answer my question. That's all I want.
I think, like, I mean, I have love for all of them. So
Yeah, I know, but
if things
can you
were to
repeat my
progress-
question back real quick?
No, I can't actually. My
Okay, so I'm going to
ADHD
ask,
is
I'll
acting
ask it
up.
again. Is there at least one of them who, if they stopped giving you any of this money, that you would not continue to sleep with them? Just one.
It's not even just about the money, though. Their
I
personality.
know, but that's not my question. That's not my question. So I'm going to ask you the question again.
I understand
I'm
your
going to keep
question,
asking it
and I'm
until you
getting to
answer it. I'm never going to let you evade it. I'm never going to let you sidestep it. I'm just going to keep asking it until you answer it. Is there at least one who, if they stopped giving you resources, you would stop sleeping with them? Is there one?
I love how you changed the question to resources. To be honest, I thought about cutting certain people off anyway, money or not. So it's
You
a lot
still
about
didn't, you
personality.
really actually just, again, did not actually answer the question. Can you please answer the question I asked you?
Probably.
Well, I don't know. It
What's the
probably
question?
doesn't
What's the
mean
answer?
anything. Yes?
I did answer your question. It just
Okay,
wasn't a
then let
yes
me
or
ask
no
you,
answer.
you know what? I'll even make this simpler. The sugar daddies you had previously, before this particular grouping of sugar daddies, is there at least one of them who, if they had stopped giving you resources or money, you would not have continued to sleep with?
Probably not. I don't know.
No.
Everything is
Really?
situational, to be honest with me. I'm not trying to like be annoying or anything, I swear.
I mean, I just feel like this is clever sidestepping because you don't want to admit what everybody in this room and everybody who's viewing and everybody on planet Earth knows, which is that at least some of these men, or one of them at least, if they stopped giving you lots and lots of money and resources, you would stop having sex with them. Is that the case, or is that not the case? Like, just directly. Is that, or is that not the case?
I feel like I'm really not trying to sidestep this. I'm just genuinely answering.
So is it or is it not the case?
I said probably not. It's probably not the case.
It's probably not the case. Okay.
But I do, like, regardless if there's money involved or not, I get, like, tired of people's personality. So it could, it's very situational.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you get far less tired of their personality if they're giving you lots of money, right?
That part.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This sounds an awful lot to me like prostitution. In fact, I would consider it to almost be the dictionary definition of prostitution, which is a man gives you money, and in exchange for that, you have sex with him.
So then what would an escort be by your definition?
She would be if she was actually just escorting men to dinners and was not doing anything sexual with them, then I would say, I'm answering the question.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
if I would say an escort, if they were actually just escorting men out like they're supposed to, because they're just escorts, they're just supposed to be arm candy, so that men who walk on a red carpet or something like this have something on their arm, I don't consider that to be prostitution. But if you mean escort in the term where they show up and then they go out and then they have sex with the guy, that's very clearly prostitution, yeah.
Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to lead to prostitution, like sex, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to lead to sex, and then by your definition, it's not prostitution. Because if we're feeling each other's vibe and we want to have sex, we're two consenting adults, then we're having sex.
Yeah, I agree that you could be two consenting adults who are just having sex. Where I disagree with is whether or not you would continue to have these relationships with these men who you claim are sugar daddies, quote unquote, meaning they give you lots of resources, and that you would continue to have sex with them absent those resources. That's what's in dispute here.
Yeah, I understand the dispute.
Yeah, that's what's in dispute. So you can, I suppose, say, no, really, Andrew, what it is I just like to really fuck all three of these guys, and I don't care about the resources because they're great. They're fantastic. They are the bestest of the bestest. But
They're
just
good people.
really don't think that that's the case, right?
They're good people. Part of what makes
I'm
them
not
good
saying
to
they're not
me
the
is
good
the
people.
provider type.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not good
like
people. I'm
that.
just saying that if suddenly they were good people who also didn't give you any resources anymore, that perhaps
Still be
you
good
would stop sleeping with these good people. That's all I'm saying.
That's like if I want to
That's-
get serious, and then like if I want to like, because I'm dating 3 of them, you know, like for me personally, dating is like you should have some sort of advantage in life, like you don't want to be left with nothing. So if I want to get serious with someone, and like maybe it's one of these guys, if they stop wanting to pay me and it's like progresses to something else, then sure.
Okay, well then, last question on this and then Brian can move it on. If one of these guys did want you to get serious with them, exclusively just them, and said that they were no longer going to give you resources, though, if you got exclusive with them and you could not take resources from any other men but them, would you do that?
No.
Okay, you're a prostitute. Yep, that would be dictionary prostitution, right? That would.
Okay.
You had a question for her?
Well, I was just curious, is prostitution legal in California? Is that why you're not
No,
saying
it's
that
not.
you're... Okay.
What? Oh, was that
That was
the
a question, because maybe she doesn't want to admit that she's a prostitute because it's illegal.
Do you
Escorting is legal.
do you live in California?
I live in LA, yes, but
Oh,
there's
I
a
mean-
difference between an escort who's choosing to sleep with someone who's providing for them, and there's a difference between just being paid outright
Do you think
for sex, specifically, yes or no. Like, you don't have a choice, like, you know. I mean, you have a choice, but they're like saying, oh, I'm not going to pay you unless you sleep with me. It's not that type of situation.
I mean, you can put a bow on it, but I mean, it's essentially prostitution. Like, it's basically
I
just
mean,
cope. Like, oh, okay, I go out to dinner with the guy first, and then I can look at myself in a more favorable light because I did this token gesture of going to dinner with him before he paid me the money for what he actually really wanted, which was to have sex. It's just cope.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting grilled for my answers.
I mean, well, a little bit, but I'm going to be fair back to you. The reason that I'm grilling you on this is because, to me, semantics, when you're talking, when you're having a discussion about a thing, I think are really important. I think it's important that we have semantic distinctions so we understand what we're talking about. So if you say, I'm not in this category, category A, in this case, category A is prostitution, I say, okay, I believe you, 100%, right?
Yeah.
But if you say, I'm not in category A, and everything you say fits with prostitution, then we're clearly talking about two different things, and that's bothersome, right? That now it's like, well, wait a second. It sounds like we are talking about the same thing. You're just calling it something different for some reason because you just don't want the label of prostitute put on your shoulders. That's where it's problematic. It's not even an attempt to be mean. It's just an attempt to clarify what we're actually talking about.
Well, I mean, we're speaking about right now, but in the past, like, I've had people pay me to hang out with them, and then it doesn't lead to sex. It's more of if I want to have sex with them.
Would you have had sex with them for the right price?
What the fuck? That's like, I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry.
With yes or no?
Can you repeat the question?
Would you have had sex with them for the right price?
It's more about, like, how I feel with them, if I'm like
Yeah,
comfortable.
great.
Not about
you feel good about
the
them?
right price.
You feel good about them, and they're going to give you $500,000. You just leave them with them?
What the fuck? I don't know about that one.
You don't know?
Stop the cap.
You know about that one. You ain't been paid that much from anybody.
That's true.
Okay. Did you have some more, Andrew, or?
No, I think we
Okay.
can leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get you to
We'll do
understand.
Twitch.
Like, oftentimes people think that it's some type of meanness or something like this. When you're just trying to establish basic terms, but you can understand why when people do horrible things, or they have a perception that people will think that it's a horrible thing, that they're very, very evasive about calling the thing what it is. And so that's why I'm like, well, wait, can we at least pin down what the hell we're talking about? That's not an attempt to be mean. It's just an attempt to get clarity on what we're even talking about.
The thing is, like, culturally speaking, that's the way that they want to treat their women anyways. They want to spoil them. And I'm not dating seriously right now. That's why I have a roster. I call it sugar daddies because, yes, they're taking care of me. They're spoiling me. But if you want to label it as prostitution, then...
The legendary Trash Panda donated $199.
Thank you, man.
Drinking
Thank
game
you.
in Discord. The more you say, stop interrupting, etc., and the more Andrew mocks, the drunker we get. Also panel, specifically chair 1 Goth Catholic. We need to see your feet.
Gross. What the fuck, dude? What kind of gross degenerate ass super chat was that? So, anyway, that's it. I'm just trying to get clarification, and I think oftentimes Brian and myself are ridiculed because when we try to get clarification on basic terms, people they actually get offended. They get offended that we're just trying to figure out what the hell they're even talking about.
No, it's cool. I'm not offended. I was just like...
Sure.
I think there's just a gray area, and people get that kind of confused sometimes.
Yeah, isn't it interesting, though, how the gray area seems to usually exist with the person on the side of the behavior they don't want to admit to. Suddenly there's a gray area when there seems to be complete clarity from everybody else. So, like, look, I'm going to actually prove this to you, right? Now, the girls in the room might be way too nice to raise their hand, but I'm going to ask the question to the table anyway.
Oops.
Would you consider that if you slept with multiple men in exchange for resources or money, that you would be a prostitute, just by a show of hands? If you could raise your hand if you would agree that that's prostitution.
I would think so.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like there's a lack of clarity or a gray area from anybody except the person who's on the end of the behavior itself. Isn't that interesting?
It's not an exchange, though. It's who they are. That's what they want to do. They want to provide.
And they
I
would
want to be
continue to do
provided
it
for.
absent any sex with you?
It's not an exchange.
They would continue to do it absent any sex with you?
What?
They would continue to do it absent any sex with you ever again?
But then it wouldn't be like dating.
Yeah, then it
So,
sounds like an
probably
exchange, right? It sounds kind of like a trade of some kind.
Well,
like,
then,
hey, if you're
I
not
think
giving
if
me the
they
sex, then I'm not going to give you the stuff.
But
That
they'd probably
sounds
still-
kind of like the whole prostitution thing.
They would probably see me as a friend if I stopped wanting to have sex with them.
So wait.
Fine.
Why don't they want to just spoil their friend?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a dating culture thing.
Yeah, it's a dating code. Like, it's almost like they want to give you stuff in exchange for having sexual intercourse with you. Isn't that amazing? It's very odd how it's very strange how this is working out. All roads seem to lead to, I give you thing and I get pussy in exchange. That
Okay.
Oh,